Hello, guys. For our group presentation, our group has decided to focus on an article in which is integrating technology into the elementary classroom. And the article that we focused on is by Susan Watts Taffy, Caroline Gwynn, Julie Johnson, and Marcia Horn. And it's titled Preparing Pre Service Teachers to Integrate Technology with the Elementary Literacy Program. And so this article is written by three beginning teachers whose purpose is essentially being able to raise awareness of the preparation that they're given for educators and how technology is implemented in their classrooms and how to use that and be resourceful and efficient when doing so. So, the purpose of the article is broken up into two main sections. And the first one is a study of how technology integration of pre service teachers in their first year of teaching. So, basically, comparing experienced teachers to their field placement and the support that they're given, the ways that they're prepared for their programs, and the type of organizations that support them. So there's a couple of organizations, and a few main ones would be the International Reading Association, so the RA, and the US Department of Education, and how they prepare them and finding methods to be able to efficiently do so. And another part is ways to support teachers in their first year in improving preparation for literacy technology integration. So being able to do that in a meaningful way and being able to do that to be able to successfully do so and being able to teach the lesson. The second part of this article is being able to structure technology and integrate into literacy methods courses. So, how to make literacy method courses useful and efficient in the ways that they're being taught to be able to do so. Moving on to our next slide, our focus was on the participants within this article and in the study. So, as mentioned before, this is an article written by three beginning teachers. So what they decided to do was focus on the opposite side, which are experienced teachers who have been in the field for quite a while. So they've broken it down into four more categories, and one of them is 13 teachers who are K through 12th grades. So they're ranging from elementary to secondary teachers to be able to get a good grasp of all types of age groups and all types of grade levels and different formats and how they're able to integrate technology within the classroom and how that works for them. They also focus on four experienced teachers who were able to give more of an insight and an input on associations with technology skills and their knowledge, the responsibilities it takes to be able to know the type of technology that needs to be inputted and the planning, the time management, the lesson planning, and all that goes into it. They also took 137 teachers, and for those teachers, they focused on the study of management of technology within the classroom and meaningful ways it can be used and incorporated, and how that has worked for them, what doesn't work for them. And they also did pre-service teachers who are giving more of their opinion and their side of their concerns and the preparation in order to be ready for this type of integration with the classroom and how that has worked for them.
This study took place in two literacy methods courses required for all pre-service teachers in elementary education at a Midwestern university in the United States during the 2000 to 2001 academic school year. The integration lessons included 5 phases. The first phase was the introduction. During the introduction, pre-service teachers were prepared for the introduction of a multimedia authoring presentation tool called KidPix by responding to a book called Wake Up World: A Day in the Life of Children Around the World by Beatrice Hollier. This was done by using a wireless laptop and a projection system. The next phase was the practice phase. During this phase, the pre-service teachers used a web graphic organizer, which included their dreams ranked in order in response to a section of the book they'd read. Then the pre-service teachers practiced using kit picks by collaboratively creating a slideshow using text recorded during the preparation phase and drawing illustrations featuring their dreams. The third phase was the sharing phase. During this phase, the pre-service teachers shared what they had learned as a result of their experience with the technology. Next was a discussion phase. In this phase, the pre-service teachers discussed the potential strengths and weaknesses of kit picks supporting literacy development. And the last phase, phase 5, is called the response phase. During this phase, pre-service teachers responded in their reflection and inquiry notebook about the application of kit picks to the elementary literacy curriculum.
Data collection. So the main data collected for this particular study was items for a portfolio, which I'll get into, responses to email prompts, which I'll also talk about, field notes from site visits. So the people collecting the data would physically go to the classrooms and just take notes about what they saw and what they experienced at the site visit, and then transcriptions of group meetings. So like when they were all meeting, they would record that audio and then have it transcripted and use that for data. The portfolios. So the portfolios were explained to the teachers before the data was collected. So they weren't just like a shot in the dark. Like they knew what the portfolios were used for and what they should put in the portfolios. And those were divided into sections where teachers could collect worksheets they use for their lessons, lesson plans themselves, reflections on the lessons plans, how they went, and items related to their use of technology in the classroom. So that could include links or screenshots or just like what type of information that they used, like technology wise, how they use technology in the classroom, PD materials, and email correspondence, which we'll talk about also. But just the portfolios were all like sectioned off and well organized for data collection. And next, they used email correspondence. So, a set of email prompts were sent to the teachers over 6 months periodically, and the prompts included the the ways of what teachers were learning about, and planning for, engaging in, and reflection upon regarding technology uses. So they were asked, okay, how are you planning to use the technology in your classroom, and then reflect on that. And this provided key information in a quick and easy way. It's emails in a text form, and they can track with each email each month how they're using that. Analysis. So for this, they used note-taking, grids, and conversation as analytical tools to create these things called participant profiles. So participant profiles are based off of responses to email prompts, observational data, and portfolios. So the data that they collected previously, they used for this participant profile. These focus on the availability of technological resources. So, what can they use? How are these resources used? So, what do they use their technological resources for? How their technology related knowledge was acquired. So, did they learn this in school? Did they learn this on their own through meetings, whatever? How did they get that knowledge and characteristics of each participant? So they use those profiles, and then based off of those, they did something called a cross-case analysis. So from these profiles, they identified major themes applicable to participants as a group. So from this, they gathered the main idea of technology used for multiple purposes. So if the teachers have like one thing of technology, how are they using it in different ways? Decision making and confidence. So how do their experiences in the classroom affect and influence their decision making for the future? Motivation, engagement, and learning. So what are they doing to enhance student learning? Communication and professional development. I thought this one was cool. How are they discussing this with colleagues who don't know much about it? Which is cool. And then vision and exploration. So how are they expanding their usage of technology in their own classroom?
After the
study was over, it was determined that there was a genuine integration of technology within the classroom by these teachers. They all felt as if they were able to integrate technology in a way that supported and enhanced their students' learning while giving it more meaning and more motivation to learn the material, rather than just incorporating technology to say that they did. When these teachers were asked how technology enhanced their classrooms, common themes included motivation, engagement, and learning. For example, when one of the teachers involved in the study talked about using KidPix along with a slideshow lesson, students learned skills about computers while also strengthening their writing skills and knowledge about the life cycle of a monarch butterfly. Integrating this new technology into everyday classroom lessons helps assist with technological literacy, learning skills related to literacy, and learning new content information. Technology integration also improved networking among these teachers included in the study. They were able to work with their mentor colleagues and received expertise of specialists. Teachers also practiced goal setting with their colleagues and mentors, and this resulted in them feeling confident enough to think of extension opportunities for integrating technology in their classroom. Some of the common examples that the teachers provided were integrating technology within their conferences with parents or other teachers, using new tools and technologies that they have learned about in newsletters, and also incorporating some of these new tools in emails. In conclusion, one of the things our group took away from this study was that a teacher's ability to make decisions is a critical aspect that leads to student success. Schools can provide teachers with all of the fancy and up-to-date equipment and technology, which can be an awesome thing, but setting teachers up with the skills and knowledge to actually use the equipment is what actually matters. If teachers have all of this equipment and tools available to them, but they don't know how to use it in a way that's going to be genuine and provide meaning to enhance the students' learning, then there's not going to be any actual learning going on in the classroom. The goal of the study was to observe these pre-service teachers to gain a better understanding on what the responsibilities are of teachers when it comes to technology and what practices should be implemented. The most important takeaway from the study that they mentioned was the lessons that they learned from their free first-year teachers is the critical value of providing pre-service teachers with a strong knowledge base and principles of effective literacy instruction so they can make sound decisions about the use of technology available to them in their future teaching situations. Another thing that the teachers in the study took away from this was they were able to learn and think about technology as it becomes available, constantly being able to grow and adapt and extend on their knowledge of technology and how they can incorporate it moving forward as teachers. And then they were able to think more broadly about literacy technology integration.
Next, I'm going to talk about some of the cautions or things to keep in mind when determining the validity of this article. First off, the study only covers students from one university. The technology integration course was taught to around 150 students. However, only 3 of the most high achieving of those students were selected for the follow-up during their first year of teaching. This could impact the study's validity as it doesn't consider the effect of the course on the average student. Second, while many observations were made for this study, there was no quantitative data collected. While this doesn't mean the study wasn't still effective, it does mean it is harder to reach a solid conclusion as there is no concrete numbers to compare. Along these same lines, strict standards were not set as to what successful technological integration looks like in a classroom, and there wasn't a control to compare these teachers to. For example, the classroom of teachers that didn't take the tech integration course. Finally, all 3 teachers that were observed taught at suburban schools, and while it was stated that they took into consideration discrepancies in resources between schools, there is no data implying that similar results would be gotten in a rural or urban setting. Next, for our discussion page, some interesting facts that were presented in the article are, according to the National Center for Education Statistics, teacher preparation for technology is minimal, and in 1999, most teachers reported feeling less than well prepared to use computers and the internet for instruction. Additionally, the U.S. Department of Education stated that school districts appear to spend more money on technological tools than on equipping teachers with the techniques and skill needed to effectively use these tools.